I realise I've said a lot on this subject already. It's quite hard in some ways to keep everything compartmentalised when talking about filmmaking. But you're going into this exercise in the knowledge that you are writing expressly with very little to no money in the bank. Any money you do have, you spend it on feeding the cast and crew and making sure everyone is safe at all times. Then work at getting everything for nothing if there's nothing left in the kitty. Hopefully, of course, you pay people something. You manage to raise a little budget to give everyone something. I'm not suggesting you don't go out and find whatever finance you can. But then, once you have got your hands on whatever you can, then move forward knowing that that's what you've got. After that, look at what you know is going to cost you that you cannot do without. Then, if you are writing or someone in your team is, ensure that they are fully appraised with the situation and that they write knowing what they are allowed to include and what they aren't. And it may be, as I say, that you can get a cast of hundreds if you have a pool of talent at your disposal. What I will say though is be sure your leads can act, can deliver. Everything essentially stands or falls on your performances. But I digress. Write knowing what your budget is and what you know you have at your disposal, having done your due diligence in advance. Know that you can get a truck you need for the time you need, or the lighthouse on the rock, whatever it may be. Then start to model your story around those known factors. And as it takes off, as you get more written, this will begin to reveal more to you in terms of what you then realise you're going to need to serve that story. You see, the point here is you don't necessarily need to know everything from the beginning. You just need a starting off point, and that's the germ of a great story. Then you start to populate that story with characters needing to tell that story, and then locations you need to fulfill that story. So as you progress, more reveals itself to you. You simply do not have to go in knowing all the answers. Just make a start, and the issues will make themselves known, and then you can go about tackling each problem as they arise. Does it have to be set in a petrol station? Can you set it in a cafe instead, knowing that you can get a cafe but not a petrol station? Does it have to be on a boat? Look, I'm not suggesting that you reduce everything to where the whole story goes down in your backyard. If the story asks for a massive mall car park, then start thinking about massive malls and who you'd need to ask to get permission to film there. Then you get to keep that shot in the script. But all the while you're going along, seeing what would work well, what would best serve the plot, and then start going out and seeing if you can achieve that in reality. I will say, and I'm certain I'm going to repeat myself, think very seriously about setting as much of it as you can outside. It'll save you money moving forward in pretty much every department. More on that later. Also, don't believe you need all the answers to make a start. Begin in the knowledge that all the answers will reveal themselves as you go along. Who knows? You might even start enjoying yourself.